What's up, guys? It's Austin from Yo Theory. Today I'm going to do a deck profile on my super heavies. I haven't done one in a while. This is a much more defensive build that I've come up with, and it probably works the best just because this deck doesn't have a whole lot of defensive power, and adding it with a bunch of hand traps works out because the deck is entirely monsters, so you can't rely on cards like Strike or Twin Twisters to help you out, so you kind of have to do it yourself. Even though this deck is really good at dealing with spells and traps, it pops them a lot, but still it needs that little extra boost. And also you might notice, if you're a regular viewer of mine, I'm going to try out recording videos with it zoomed in, like right on the cards. Tell me if you like this better, and I'll try to do my best to keep it in focus, because usually I do it wider, so it's not as hard for me. But just tell me which way you like better, and I'll do it either way. It doesn't matter. But yeah, let's just get right into the deck profile. So I've used this deck actually the most at tournaments that I've gone to. I haven't used this version in a tournament yet, but I have done fairly well with these at tournaments. They're not meta by any means, but they're just a fun deck to play. But first, you'd play 3 Trumpeter. Trumpeter is probably your best tuner. You special summon it from your hand if you don't control any spells or traps. By the way, Light of Sekka is coming out, and whenever that comes out, I'm going to make another deck profile for this, and it's going to have 3 of those in it. Because Light of Sekka in the Super Heavies is really abusive, because you don't have any spells, so you don't have to worry about its cost. But anyway, with him, you can just special summon it from your hand if you don't have any in your spell or in your graveyard. And then if it's used for the tribute summon of a super heavy samurai monster, you special summon it back. So it's really good. I don't really use that second effect much because I don't run Jade anymore, but still, he's still really good. Next, you run 3 super heavy samurai soul piece maker. What he does is you just equip him to any super heavy samurai monster, tribute him, and then special summon any super heavy samurai monster from your deck. So it's really good. Just get the missing piece you might need for a synchro summon or a link summon or something. But next you run 3 super heavy samurai magnet. When you summon this, you just special summon any level 4 or lower super heavy samurai monster from your hand, and then you switch this to defense. And if your opponent would attack, they have to attack this. This is a instant Mrs. Radiant, so you just normal summon this, special summon what you want, Mrs. Radiant. And then the super heavies have some graveyard effects, so it does help putting them in the graveyard and whatnot. Next, you run 3 super heavy samurai transporter. You can special summon it from your hand. Sorry about the proxy. I know I have one, I just can't find it. But still, what you do, well, this just special summons itself from your hand for free. And then you can special summon super heavy samurai monsters to your opponent's side of the field and then draw cards. But you don't use that effect. You just use the effect special summoning, so you can link summon or synchro quicker. It is a 5, so it doesn't work as well with some of your synchros. But you got a few you can go into with a 5 and a 2, which is the most common ratio. Next, you run 2 super heavy samurai Big Binky. Big Binky's kind of the main deck boss monster. He has 3,500 defense. And all the big ones attack with their defense. He makes it where all super heavy samurai monsters attack with their defense, so you don't really have to worry about that. It's just a blanketing effect. And he just has really good stats, and you mostly go for him to synchro into your big dudes. Next, you run 2 super heavy samurai battle ball. If you don't control any, you can use this card and then a monster your opponent controls that has a level, and then synchro summon. You synchro, and it's counted as a synchro summon, so you use this and then your opponent's monster, and you can synchro summon for any super heavy samurai monster in your extra deck as long as it equals up to the level. This is the main way they'll get into the train guy, because it doesn't matter. You don't have to have all that stuff. You just have to equal up to the level, so it goes up to 12. So you just need him plus a level 10, which doesn't come in that often unless you're playing against like Time Lords or something that has like 10s. That's like the time that I brought it out was against Time Lords, and I've gotten it out the way it's supposed to be brought out before too, but it's just kind of hard to get out. Next, I run 2 scale. You can run more than 1 scale if you want to. I just run 2 just because I don't know. I just would rather have the ones that special summon. But this is this one special summons 2. Your opponent just has to have monsters. But when you normal summon this, you can special summon I think 1 from your graveyard. It's basically like a magnet just for your graveyard. But sometimes I want to keep them in the graveyard, so it is not as prevalent as magnet. But still, it doesn't cost your hand prevalence or your card economy. Yeah, that's the word. Next, you run 2 flutists. You don't really run as many of the big ones anymore, so you only run this at 2. You mostly run it for its graveyard effect, but its first effect is you can tribute this card, then special summon a super heavy samurai monster from your hand. But again, this isn't that good. If you want to bump this down to 1, you can. But its second effect is that when it's sent to the grave, well, when an opponent's card effect would target a Super Heavy Samurai monster, you can banish this and negate the effect. So that's really good. That's the graveyard presence I was talking about. Also with Giga Glows, whenever it's sent to the graveyard, you only run it at 2. You can bump this down to 1 too if you're not feeling it. Honestly, I'm thinking about it, and I'm also thinking about bumping Flutus down because I don't run as many of the big ones. But still, it does come in handy. But whenever this gets into the graveyard, you can look at the top 5 cards of your deck and put them in any order. That's the main reason why I run this at all. And then the second effect is if your opponent would attack directly, you can special summon this. You draw a card. If it's a Super Heavy Samurai monster, I think you special summon it. Oh no, you add it to your hand, the attack becomes 0. So, and I might take this down since I'm running more hand traps, just for that reason. Next, I run 2 Super Heavy Samurai Soul Burst Gauntlet. This card is also really good. If your Super Heavy Samurai monster would do battle, you can ditch this, and then its defense gets doubled. So it's really good for OTKing and things like that. Next, you run 2 Soul Piercer. What it does is it makes it where your Super Heavy Samurai monster does piercing when it's equipped with it. But its main effect is whenever it's sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add 1 Super Heavy Samurai card. I think, is it card? Yeah, add 1 Super Heavy Samurai monster from your deck to your hand, except for him. So you can, sometimes there's plays where you'll equip Soul Peacemaker with, or you normal summon this, equip Soul Peacemaker, and then tribute it, or you can normal summon something else and equip both of them and tribute it, and you'll get a search plus a special summon. So this is also really good. I'm thinking about bumping this up to 3, because it does come in clutch sometimes, but sometimes I don't see it enough, so that might be why. But next, you run 2 Soul Bead. This is protection for your Super Heavy Samurais. The first time they'd be destroyed, when it's equipped, they're not. And if you can detach it, you can discard it from your hand to protect 1 too. It's just whatever you feel like doing. 1 Drum. It's a level 1 tuner. It can't be special summoned or anything, or like steal your opponent's monsters like the other ones. So you just play it at 1. But it's still really good regardless. When it gets destroyed, so that's the problem with it. It has to be destroyed. You can special summon a Super Heavy Samurai monster from your graveyard. But yeah, that's kind of why you don't run it at more than 1, because it has to be destroyed and you're mostly synchroing with it. Next, you run 1 Gofu. You just run Gofu to get into some Deco Talker plays and stuff like that. So, and maybe some other shenanigans with it. I actually forgot to put the Proxy Dragon in the extra deck for the Gofu, so I kind of forgot to do that. Just remember to take out one of my cards and put it in the Proxy Dragon. I can't believe I actually forgot that. Next, starting off with your hand traps, you run 3 Ghost Ogre. If you can afford Ash Blossom, get Ash Blossom, but Ghost Ogre is the cheaper version, and it's still not even cheap. They're still like $20 a piece. By the way, I'm giving one away, so if you want to enter that giveaway, just check out the video. It's somewhere in my stream of videos. Just go to the videos on my channel and it should pop up. It's not that far down. Next, you run 3 Cypherian Gear Gamma. Gamma is really good. It's just an anti-hand trap. And if you're going second, you can Gamma one of your opponent's cards before they can like get their plays started. So it's really good, just negating monster effects. Next, you run 2 Driver for the Gamma. I just like running 2 because I don't like not ever Gamma being live. But, you know, then 1 Max C. Max C is really good. And then 1 Retaliating C. I don't see anybody running Retaliating C, but it is a really good card. I don't know if it's worth running or not. I'm kind of just trying it out for now. So if you don't want to run this, you don't have to. But basically what it does is when it's special, or when your opponent special summons a monster, you can special summon this from your hand. And it's an Earth, by the way, so that helps with Mrs. Radiant. But anyway, you special summon it from your hand, and anything that gets sent to the graveyard gets banished, and then if this gets destroyed, you can search out Max C. So it's almost like running 2 copies of Max C, but obviously you're not. But yeah, that's it with the main deck. So it's just a regular 40-card main deck. I didn't really want to go over, because this deck isn't that consistent as it is. But as soon as Light of Second comes out, it will be. At least a little bit more consistent. First with the extra deck, you run 1 Train. 4,800 defense. It's just a really big beater. And I think you can discard monsters. Let's see. Yeah, you can discard up to 2 cards, then target that many cards your opponent controls, destroy them. And then once per turn, you can banish all spell and trap cards from the graveyard, and if you do, you burn your opponent for 200 for each. So he's pretty good, but you only run him at 1 just because he's really hard to get into. 2, Susanoo. You go into him actually pretty often. I only run 2 because I only run 2 big binkies now. So, but he is really good. He can attack and defense. He has 3,800. What he does is you can, during the player's turn, you can target a spell or trap card in your opponent's graveyard and set it. And that's about it, I think. Yeah, that's it. I honestly thought he did more than that, but whatever. Then 1 super heavy samurai ninja Sarabutoyabi, however you say that. He just pops a card, so he's really good too, and then you inflict damage to your opponent for it. And he's during either play or turn, spell and trap popping, by the way. I'm sorry, I'm retarded, I forgot to mention that. But yeah, spell and trap. I only have 1, so if you want to run 2, that's actually a good idea. He's really good. Run 1 of the stealth ninja. He can half his attack and attack directly, and then if he gets destroyed, you bring him back in the standby phase. He's actually kind of hard to get rid of. Next, you run 3 ogre. When this is synchro summon, you blow up both spell and trap zones, so like both back rows. So it's really good for getting rid of fill spells and just all kinds of stuff. It's really good against pendulums. Next, you run 1 Cyframe Lord Omega. Cyframe Lord Omega is just really good to get into. 1 Black Rose Dragon, again, just really good to get into. 1 Nucheria Barkion. You can cut this if you want, just because trap negation isn't that important. And if it's a 6, you would way rather go into the Ogre, but it's up to you. I still run it just because of the utility. 1 Nucheria Beast, this is what you want to go in more. This card's really good because they have graveyard effects, so milling them doesn't affect you too bad. 1 Iron Wolf, 1 Decode Talker, and, well, I probably should mention what Iron Wolf does. You probably don't know. He can target 1 machine-type monster on the field, and then it can attack directly, so you got to detach materials for it. 1 Decode Talker, I'm sure you know what he does. Then 1 Mrs. Radiant. I don't have 1, so I need to actually get 1 really bad, but there's supposed to be a Proxy Dragon in here, so you can take out, say, the Nucheria Barkion for it, so I probably will end up doing that actually, because I forgot you need a Proxy Dragon to get into Gofu, or get into Decode Talker using the Gofu method. But yeah guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe if you are not subscribed. And tell me what you think about the new camera angle. And don't forget about the armor dome. I forgot to put that on top. Don't forget about the giveaway. Make sure to enter into that. I'll be giving it away when I get 200 subscribers. I think I just got a subscriber today, so we're on the way. But anyway, peace. See you.